run Empowered STEM. And Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider. We provide A-level courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and maths for those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So today, I wanted to come in and I wanted to talk to you about how you can help your teen regain control this term. Because parents, I think you would agree that your teen started the term with good intentions in A-level maths and A-level science. But a few weeks in, are you noticing how the work is piling up? The confidence looks a little bit shaky. The routines are slipping. So parents, what exactly do you do? Do you push harder? Do you wait it out? What exactly is the next step that you take? Well, it's this, parents. I think you would agree that what your teen needs is your teen needs a course correction. So let me tell you what the issue is. The issue is this. The core problem is that the drift in your teen's academics happens quietly. It isn't overnight. It isn't 1 week that all of a sudden they fall off the end of the proverbial cliff. They don't suddenly fall behind, but the drift, it's kind of insidious. It's like a fog. All of a sudden they're missing deadlines. They're missing work. They're avoiding feedback from the teacher. They seem to be studying longer, all night, on the weekend, but achieving less. And they start to, and rightfully so, become more and more frustrated with what they're doing. Because the issue is this, parents, and we talked about this one on the previous live stream, is this. The grade that your teen has in the mark book, it's a reflection of a problem that's been building for weeks. It isn't a snapshot of exactly where they are right now in terms of academics. It's a reflection of something which has been building up for weeks. It's not a reflection of their ability in A-level maths and A-level science. What it is, it's an indication of loss of control and clarity in what they're doing. Bottom line is, parents, your teen has lost their way. The compass is no longer working for them. So, as a parent, well, what do you try to do? You mean the best, don't you? But it's this. You tell them to try harder. And this is the reason why trying harder doesn't work. Because parents, what you do is this, is that you increase the pressure on your teen. Well, your friend's doing good in A-level chemistry or A-level biology. Why aren't you also sitting at an A or a B? Or, well, maybe it's because you're not putting in enough hours. Maybe you're not revising hard enough. Got to put the work in, don't you? If you want to get the top grades in A-level maths and A-level science. Or you could say, right, you're not studying enough. What you need to be doing, look, after dinner, in the room, you sit down at least 3 hours a night. You should be working late into the night, or all day Saturday in your room. That's all you're doing is just studying A-level maths and A-level science the entire weekend. Well, mock exams coming up in, 8 weeks? Your next test is coming up in a month. Didn't the teacher say you needed to show improvement on the next 2 tests, or they're going to put you into mandatory study hall? You mean well, don't you, parents? You do. But the issue is this, is without clarity, without really clear optics of what your teen is doing, effort becomes chaotic. So what your teen doesn't need is this. They don't need more motivation. They don't need more reminders. They don't need more fear. What they need is that they need structure, direction, and a reset point. Because a course correction has nothing at all to do with the intensity, the workload that your teen is putting in. It's got to do with a realignment. So, what exactly does regaining control actually look like? What exactly does it mean? Well, regaining control, let's be clear, does not mean you have to catch up on everything. Well, I got to have a good set of master notes. I better go back to the beginning of year 12 and read the textbook again and highlight everything and have a good set of master notes. And I should be out there and I should watch. There's a YouTube videos that I saw by this one teacher that seemed kind of okay. Yeah, maybe that would help. No. Oh, well, I should make sure I've done all the homework then at least. I mean, I did miss some homework, didn't I? Or maybe I should just sit down and just go through reams and reams of past paper questions. Maybe I should redo that quiz or the test that I didn't quite do well on. No. What it means is this, is that your teen knows what matters now. They're letting go of what doesn't matter. They're restoring predictability and they're rebuilding confidence through small wins. So let's break this one down. Know what matters now. Think of it like a surgeon. They need to go in there with surgical precision. What exactly do I need to do, as Brendan Bouchard would say, to spike the needle? Letting go of what doesn't matter. You don't need perfect notes, highlighted, color-coded, that look like Picasso did it. No, you don't need that. Let that go. What you need is predictability, meaning they know when they're studying, when they're revising, when the homework set is due, when the next lab report is due, when the next test is due, when the mock exam is due. They know what they're doing each day of the week. And they're rebuilding confidence through small wins. Right? Don't expect your teen, if they're sitting at an E or a D, all of a sudden to move up to an A. Think about a small win that they got, though. Maybe they got one extra question correct. Maybe they did another hour of studying this week, meaningful studying. Because control returns when the week feels manageable again. At the end of the week, if your teen is not experiencing negative stress, they're experiencing positive stress, that's a good thing. Let me explain what the difference is. Negative stress is when you're in a situation that you can't control. Everything feels out of control. You can't handle it. The entire world seems to be caving in on you. Positive stress is at the end of the day, yes, you feel mentally or physically tired, but on the other hand, you're thinking, I had a good day. I achieved a lot today. I got some work done. I spiked the needle. Now, at Empowered STEM, parents, you know that we teach A-level courses, biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. And we incorporate what I'm talking about in this live stream into our courses. We use a 4-step path, all right? It's known as the STEMPath Method. There's 4 steps to it. Let me walk you through the steps of the STEMPath Method and show you exactly how they connect to helping your teen gain control over the course for this term. First step, precision diagnosis. Translation, stop guessing. What we do is that we sit down with your teen and we identify where are the marks being lost on the tests and the exams. What topics are causing friction? What topics don't they understand? What exactly is the issue? Is it content? Is it exam technique? Is it timing? Is it mindset? Because clarity reduces panic immediately. The second step in our 4-step method is conceptual clarity, is where we teach the core content to your teen. Because we know that drift starts with misunderstanding. If they don't understand a little topic, like a point that the teacher made, how they got the answer, how they rearranged the equation. Well, a small misunderstanding, all of a sudden they don't get that subtopic. They don't get the subtopic, all of a sudden they don't get the topic. Don't get one topic, everything leads into the next topic, all of a sudden they're totally confused. Okay, so the reason why we spend some time with conceptual clarity is this, is that if your foundations aren't secure, revision feels endless. I just got to reread the notes. I've got to read this book. I've got to look up something on YouTube. I don't get it. And because the foundation isn't solid, the confidence drops. They begin to second guess themselves. Well, I don't know. Is it this answer or is it this one? Should I be studying this or should I be studying that? And they put in more effort. The effort increases, but there's no reward at the end of it because they're not making improvement. So what we do is we fix the gaps in the concepts. Think of it as a concept map. We make sure that every concept is crystal clear in your teen's mind. You don't need to fix the system, you fix the concepts. The third step in our four-step pathway is strategic revision. Because course correction, it's focus, it's not volume. Your teen, parents, does not need to spend hours and hours and hours of mind-numbing revision and studying on the weekend in order to get the A in year 12 or the A star in year 13. No. They need to be really focused on what they're doing. Really focused. They need to target weak areas. Don't bother revising areas that you know solid. You can get those questions done easily. You always score well because you know how to solve the question. Write down what the exam is looking for. No, you target weak areas. Use short structured sessions. Yes, we use the Pomodoro effect. And so our suggested study sessions, half an hour, 5-minute break, 45 minutes, 15-minute break, hour, 20-minute break. You get the idea. Now, the thing is, with this one, the length of time that your teen studies depends on their concentration level. There isn't any point in making your teen sit there and study for an hour if after 15 minutes they've lost focus and attention and are looking out the window. We teach them how to build momentum through completion, meaning checklist, tick box. Did you read the notes that the course tutor gave you? Did you watch the flip learning? Did you do the exercises before the lesson began? Did you do your homework? Did you study? Did you revise? Did you go to help sessions? Because it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, parents, to be able to tick off the check boxes, isn't it? So yes, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Okay. Because progress comes from finishing the right work on time. Progress doesn't come from a large volume of work that's done. You kind of get it. You burnt yourself out. No, progress comes from finishing the right work, what you need to do to improve on time. It makes me think how they train marathon runners. They don't make them go out and say, well, you got 12 weeks to the marathon, right? You're going to start running 5 miles and then 10 miles and 15 miles. Oh, no. What it is they have a very, very structured plan of what they're doing each day of each week to build up the stamina and the endurance so that they can run a marathon, okay, in 12 weeks. It's the same idea with strategic revision. You don't need to overdo it. You need to be focused. And the last step in our 4-step pathway is medical mindset, which is huge. So medical mindset means this, is we train your teen to think like a doctor, to become the type of student that would earn the A or the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. And when it comes back to feedback, what we do is that we remove the emotional noise, because that letter grade, that percentage that your teen's teacher put on their exam, that's just what it is. It's a snapshot. It's where your teen is right now. This is the letter grade that they've got. It's the percentage that they've got. Okay. There's no emotion attached to it, because the grade is not make or break. It's not the end of the world, parents, if they get a bad grade on a test or a mock exam, because you can always spin out of it. Because if you take the attitude that what the grade is feedback, well, then feedback is something that can be acted on and you can improve and you can start to walk the path, the journey up to the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. But one thing we know, parents, is this, is that when stress drops, performance improves. So when your teen is no longer stressed out about A-level maths and A-level science, when they have a plan, when they have a blueprint, performance improves, because they're seeing the reward of putting in the time, effort, and attention. So parents, let me give you some guidance. How exactly can you support your teen in a course reset without the pressure? 5 steps. Number 1, pause the panic. It doesn't help going in there, pressurizing your teen, being like the referee and not the coach, redlining everything. All it does is that it stresses them out, and putting in the sense of urgency that the next test is next month, the mock exam is coming up. All that urgency does is cloud judgment. Second thing is shrink the focus, because teens, like you parents, they do sometimes, they catastrophize, don't they? Oh, this is the end of the world. I got a very bad test grade. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I'm never going to get the A in year 12, the A star in year 13. No. Shrink the focus down, all the way down, and ask yourself, well, what's the best step that they can do this week to spike the needle, to get the improvement? Help them restore routine. Now, parents, we talked about this one. Up until the age of 25, your teen's hippocampus is still developing. The hippocampus is the area of the brain that helps with organization. And so they need your help with organization. You need to give them autonomy, but you need to help them structure their week, because your teen's mind will start to anticipate what's coming up, meaning it's like a cognitive deload. It's this: if they study at the same time, the same location every day of the week, then they get predictability, and predictability equals safety. And this is one thing we teach. When I say study, I mean you can do chemistry Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe biology Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it's a routine. And so on Monday, your teen's brain thinks, brilliant, I'm doing chemistry tonight. And then inside that study block, that revision hour, what they can do is they can have a routine. Well, I'm studying this 60 minutes. I'm revising this 60 minutes. It's called interleaving. They can interleave topics together. Synoptic links. Measure progress and not perfection. Like I said, parents, your teen, you Don't expect them to move from a D to an A. That's a bit unrealistic. Don't be one of these parents that just you obsess over grades. Look for the improvement. Are they structured in the studying this week? Are they putting in the hours to study? Are they revising in the correct way? We use the 6 pillars of neuroscience in our courses to help your teen revise in the way that they learn and understand. Stop the comparison trap. You know, well, your friend's doing good. Well, how come you aren't doing it? Keep the conversations calm and short. Now, this is one thing I say is this: don't be the referee, be the coach. You don't need to be micromanaging your teen. You don't need to be in there handing out red cards for everything that they're doing wrong. No, what you need to do is you need to be on the sideline coaching them to success, because support beats surveillance. So, as always, parents, I'm always asked this question: is there a real student story behind this? Give me a real student perspective, Graham, with this one. Sure. Let me tell you about Sophia. Now, Sophia, when she came to us at the beginning of year 13, she had been predicted an A star by her sixth form college, and on the mock exam, she got a D. Talk about feeling overwhelmed. And we sat down and we talked to Sophia, and we helped her gain clarity on the situation. We refocused the optics for her, because what she needed is that she needed clarity and structure. She needed a blueprint. She needed a plan, a roadmap to follow. She needed to learn how to set up her week in terms of study blocks, revision blocks for her A-level maths and science courses. So her mother invested in one of our courses, and she went through our course, and at the end of it, she got the A star on the final exam in A-level chemistry, and now she's at King's University studying dentistry. Now, if you ask Sophia what the biggest difference was in what she did, she would say that she gained clarity and she gained structure. Do you notice clarity and structure, parents, right? It wasn't, oh, I learned how to, all the tricks to get all the top marks on the exams, on the mock exams. No, clarity and structure. Because Sophia is a typical student that we see at our courses at Empower STEM, and it's this: the pattern is always the same. Control returned before grades improved. Before she started moving the grade from a D up to the A star in year 13 A-level chemistry, she had to get control over what she was doing. And as soon as she had control, as soon as she had a map that she could follow, a plan, a blueprint, she put in the time, effort, and attention, and look what happened. She walked out with the A star. So parents, let me give you some reassurance on this one. Drift. Drift does not mean that your teen is failing. What it means is that they need calibration in what they're doing. They need a course correction. And if you look at the mindset of students who are successful, get the A and the A stars in year 12 and year 13, strong students don't avoid setbacks. In fact, they want a setback. They look forward to having a setback, because if there's a setback, there's something that they can learn now, something which they can fix now in the understanding of the concept, their exam technique, their mindset before they take the final exam. So when they get a setback, what they do is that they respond to them early and calmly. There's no emotion involved, but they'll take the setback, they'll take the feedback from the teacher, and they'll calmly regroup and come up with a plan to move forward, to spike the needle. And most importantly, parents, keep this one in mind. Course correction is a skill, and it can be taught. And we teach it at Empowered STEM in all of our courses. So parents, if the term feels for your teen like it's slipping slightly out of control, now is the right time, the right moment to reset. So parents, if you're watching this live stream on Facebook, or if you're watching this live stream on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, join the Facebook business page, and then you'll get notifications of upcoming live streams. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then you get notifications of the upcoming live streams. We do these live streams lunchtime throughout the week. On the YouTube channel, you also can access all the other live streams that we've done, because we're always looking for ways that we can help parents, such as yourself, and give you the tips, the techniques, and the strategies that you need to help your teen. Now, if what I'm saying to you in these live streams makes sense, if it resonates with you, and you're thinking, Graham, I want to learn more about the courses that you offer at Empowered STEM, well, it's really easy to do it. In the description, either on Facebook or YouTube, there's a link you can click. It takes you out to a page. You can fill out the form, and you can have a non-sales, non-committal conversation with a member of my team. And it's a very easy conversation that we have with you. You tell us where your teen is academically, the grade, the workbook now, the predicted grade, aspirational grade, what university they want to go to, what career path they want to have, what the issues are that they're having right now in A-level maths and science. And we tell you about our courses, how our courses operate, and how we can help your team. And if you feel, parents, after you obviously feel that your questions have been answered, you're well supported and taken care of, if you feel that it's a good fit to enroll your teen in one of our courses, and if we feel that our courses can help your teen reach these grades, these aspirations, then you can make the informed decision on investing in your teen's education and take the next step. Everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next one.